Current environment, an overview of the current environment, an overview of the northern corridors, competencies and struggles, as well as a review of the southern corridors and a prognosis and opportunities for the Mozambican environment. We will, in this forum, be discussing a lot about Mozambique, so I'll focus on its neighbors. Africa's logistics environment is a key indicator of the competitive positioning of a country. How can we be more efficient to facilitate trade within our region? Access to market is vital, and rail is the key to that. Whilst freight is the lifeblood, railways are our veins, industries are heart, and the ports are our head. The current environment that we're moving into is a space where private sector participation is seen to be a bigger player in the future of our logistics environment. This is important because it increases the efficiencies of the logistics operations within our continent, and especially considering the large size of investments that are happening. This also is there's an increase in the regional collaboration. So we see the Mozambican and Eswatini governments removing their rail borders. I think this kind of policy move is essential in the integration of our region. Furthermore, there is an increase in alignment in our rail and ports policy, with once again a focus on public partnerships. The African continent's free trade agreements has come into play. We're expecting a massive increase in inter-Africa trade. Companies are seeking, or sectors are seeking, multi-port strategies in order to diversify their logistics strategies. And there is a renewed investment drive into sub-Saharan Africa's infrastructure. I think on the African continent, the last time I had a look, I think there was close to $140 billion worth of rail projects. So if we take a review on the logistics efficiencies on our corridors, the Shippers Council of East Africa has recently completed their port performance survey. They've identified the North Corridor, Mombasa, as the most expensive in the world. Specifically the Kampala to Mombasa leg, coming in at $2.50 per ton kilometer. To give you context, I think the kind of international standard is $1. The second most expensive is the reverse leg, the Mombasa to Kampala, coming in at $2.17. These legs, they are responsible for 66% of the freight flows in the region. So the logistics costs in our region, in our area, is staggering. What's responsible for this is fuel prices, non-tariff barriers, the police stops, clearance times at port, and slow turnaround times. The Dar es Salaam port, which is fed by the Central Corridor and the Tazara line. The Central Corridor has recently undergone a fantastic investment initiative by the World Bank. There's the $350 million Tanzania intermodal rail and port project, which has upgraded the axle load of the old meter gauge network from 13 tons per axle to 18.5. Furthermore, Tanzania has embarked on its own standard gauge rail project. This specific standard gauge project, it's an electrified project, and it's coming in at one of the cheapest on the continent. The Tazara infrastructure is fairly delicate. However, it's aligned its policies with international best practice. It's embarked on a fantastic program of third-party access and is reaping the benefits of that. I think I missed the point on the Central Corridor. There is a rolling stock scarcity, and that's important because there will be there are great investment opportunities in rolling stock on the continent. The port of Dar es Salaam, there is limited integration with the current rail infrastructures, and there is a massive congestion within the port. The Southern Corridor review, we've As South Africans, we're very proud, and we take a lot of pride in our logistics. But recently we've had a few struggles. The Richards Bay bulk coal line, it's got a target of 81 million tons per annum. We were unfortunately 30% shy of that. This is due to locomotive availability in Transnet. We've unfortunately had some supply issues with critical parts of locomotives, which has led to locomotives just being parked. The port and management inefficiencies within our logistics networks. And likewise in Durban, the Durban corridor is struck by infrastructure quality issues, track availability, and inefficiencies in the port. A major impact in our SADC logistics infrastructure is theft and vandalism. Next slide, please. Can we? What we see here is the impact of theft and vandalism. In South Africa, we have electrified rail infrastructure, and we have a corresponding supply of copper. And unfortunately, we experienced a massive impact of theft of copper on our networks. In the financial year 2022, we had 1,506 kilometers of copper cable stolen. That equates to 172 meters every hour, every day, the entire year. That has a massive impact on the efficiencies of our rail, which likewise has a massive impact on the efficiencies of our ports. And like we all know, and we can all appreciate in this forum, these efficiencies of ports and rail are the competitive advantage of our country and our region. So where are we? What are the opportunities? What's the prognosis? As Mozambican ports, you've been on a fantastic streak. I think the Port of Maputo broke a record of 22 million tons in the past year, which is fantastic. You can look at targeting freight flows that historically have gone to SA ports. You've opened up to coal exports from Botswana and for SA coal exporters, although our rail slots are still an issue. In terms of our containerized freight flows, South Africa's manufacturing base is seeking a multi-port strategy, and the Mozambican ports are front and center on that strategy. This is to diversify away from the inefficiencies of the ports further down south. And finally, the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. This allows Mozambique to partner with the world in terms of access to African markets. This opens up not only existing trade flows that historically have gone to competing ports, but new trade flows that are potentially coming in and exiting our ports. What I think we should consider as a SADC region is the implementation of a regional multimodal logistics master plan. And I think that'll be a collaborative effort between the parties in this forum and the governments involved. Logistics costs, as we all know, account for up to 40% of a final product's costs. Rail offers a potential 35 to 40% saving on these costs. What we've managed to do in countries neighboring Mozambique is achieve that 35 to 40%. What this means is that the upstream economy becomes more viable. It's the manufacturing base, it's the agriculture. Offering greater returns to manufacturers or farmers, increasing the attractiveness of Africa as a manufacturing destination. And this creates sustainable jobs. Thank you. Mucho obrigado.
Thank you, David.